Well, I'm Jim Simpson. I've joined the RFS when I was at 8 years of age. My father was the president of the brigade when I was 8 years of age, and we were fighting a major fire up in the back of our hill country, and Dad said, I'll put you in as a member, and I've been a member ever since. It'll be 60 years in the service as of next year, and I've enjoyed every bit of the network. Through the ranks, when my father died in 1969, I then took over the presidency, or the secretary, sorry, and from there I became president, then a deputy captain, then senior deputy, then now I've become captain, and I'm also now a group captain of the Riverina zone, and I've got 7 brigades that are under my control.
I started here 15 years ago with Jim as a bushfire brigade member, and over the years gained much experience, and then later on I was nominated and elected a deputy captain, and then since then I'm now the brigade treasurer also and highly involved with the running of the brigade.
Firecon, Lake Albert 1 Alpha. Being a volunteer, I think our brigade, I'll go back a little bit, our brigade was the 2nd Brigade in New South Wales, and it was formed after a fire that came through this area in 1904. And I think the whole thing is camaraderie and helping your neighbour, helping other people, and that is very gratifying in it itself. Yeah, it's just been a fantastic exercise. I've met people from all over New South Wales and Victoria.
He's been in the RFS obviously all of my life. When I was about 14, I was the first time out on the fireground, and I've always enjoyed working with him because of that. Yeah, it's very much an influence on my life.
Jim's got vast experience and knows his crew. We're a very active brigade, and we train a lot to know what everyone can do and what skills we have, and we work very well on the fireground.
The fact of experience, I don't think you can ever buy or learn experience. It's passed down through people like myself and like members of our brigade to the younger people. I suppose the most memorable moment is the opening of this new shed back in 2007. We raised a lot of money to build this shed with the help of RFS. The other one was the 50-year long service award that was awarded to me. We've done a fair few floods in the area. The RFS do that as part of their scene. Because the town was evacuated, the bottom end, there was 8,000 people moved out of Wagga, the bottom end of Wagga, the flood area. We were asked could we cater for crews that were coming up from the south coast, and we catered for them on the Tuesday morning. We catered for 40. That night we catered for 80. The next morning we did 120. And that night we did 180. So our crew, we formed a catering crew in Lake Albert Brigade, and they worked tirelessly, absolutely fantastically to cater for these people. And then when that was finished, the flood started to recede, we then sent 2 of our trucks in to assist in the clean-up, and that was a major job, and we had crews working for the next 5 or 6 days on that. So that was, yeah, fantastic.
Saturday, February the 7th, 2009. Temperatures have been soaring above 40 degrees for days.
Well, there's simply no way of underestimating the fire threat Victoria is facing over the next 24 hours or so.
The fires in Victoria started at about 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. It was a horrendous day. It was bad enough here, but obviously a lot worse in Victoria. And we were called in the afternoon or in the evening, and by 1 o'clock that night, I had a crew of 3 out of our brigade and 4 other tankers, and they departed Wagga at 1 o'clock, and they were at the scene in Victoria at 6 o'clock the next morning to help try to contain those fires. And over the next 2 weeks, that was the fires just burnt relentlessly and couldn't stop them.
Oh, well, I'd like to think you'll be here for another couple of years, but Jim's a senior member of the brigade and he's passing on his skills to everyone else, and we've got other members coming up through the brigade which in time will let Jim stand aside and they'll take over.
I'd like to stay here as long as the brigade can use me and I can impart some of my knowledge through to some of the newer members. The getting to know people right through the whole area is fantastic.